Hands on hips, feet underneath the hips. Nice big circles. We're just going to start off nice and slow in our warm-up. We're going to do a lot of movement today. So big circles, your own pace, of course, keeping the feet flat, and then switching direction, switching direction. Pausing when you come back. Let's do trunk twist. Flex the palms into fist, going side to side. Shoulders together. Reach the elbows back. I'm flexing my abs as I go side to side. Maybe reaching a little further with each pass if that feels good, but lots of control along the spine. Just one or two more on each side. Come back together. Let's bring the feet shoulder distance apart or a little wider. Reach up and over, come back to center. Reach up and over, come back to center. Bonus, if you want to like pull the elbow down, reach up, pull the elbow down. Bonus, if you want to add that in, feel the shoulder come down the back. And your own pace. You can always go faster than me, slower than me. Let's just do one more on each side. Starting off really slow today. We're going to get a lot of movements in. When you come back to center, jumping jacks. I'm on the second floor, so I'm not actually going to jump. Modification is going to be taps. But if you can jump, go ahead and do jumping jacks. Double check that your arms are flexed. They're not noodly. Flex the arms in your jumping jacks. You can modify and tap. Just about 3 more. We'll come back to center. I'm going to bring my heel towards my hip. I'm going to hinge. I can be here. If I'm comfortable, I can go lower. Maybe press the ground away from me, switching sides. Modify by holding your quad stretch. You can hold your quad stretch no more than 5-10 seconds. So alternate legs. If you need assistance balancing, you can always hold on to a wall or your couch or your chair nearby. Either just quad stretching, holding, switching, or add in your rebound, touching the ground. Get in a couple more. Maybe keeping the heel plugged to the hip. And then let's find ourselves in our squat stance. My toes are going to be out. My heels are under the hips. Bootstrap stretches. Reach up for the sky. Hinging. And I'll pull my hips down, lift my chest. Try to look forward. Go to wherever you can. Your own depth. Make sure your heels are flat in these. So my heels are flat the whole time. And when I come to the bottom, I'm just looking for a stretch into my hips, the inner thighs, the back. Maybe reach up a little further through the arms, stretch out through the upper back. Couple more reps. Great, you guys. Heavy through the heels, chest is tall. Last one. Windmills, toes to the sky. Nice big arm circles. Reaching. Feel the heel press down. Really hug the toes towards the chest. And then really big circles through the arms. Big circles. We'll get a couple more on each side. Your own pace. Belly is tight. Last one. When you come back to center, we're going to do high knees. So knees coming up. Again, I'm on the second floor. So you can march. But otherwise, high knees. We're just going to be here for another 10 seconds or so. Bringing the knees up. Nice. Belly's tight. And let's switch heels to hips. You can march. Bring the arms back as you march. Otherwise, bringing the heels up. Going a little faster. Just another 10 seconds. Warming up through the hamstrings. And relaxing. Finding our spot on the mat. We'll reach up. Nice big stretch. Any kind of stretch that feels good. But then we'll walk the hands out for our inchworm. Knees or toes. Chest to the ground. Coming back. We'll get a couple in. Your own pace. Hands are going to be outside the chest. So when I'm at the bottom, my hands line up with my chest. Flex the belly. Trying to keep the palms flat for most of the distance when you're walking them in and out. Exhaling on the press. Do one more. Big stretches at the top. And on this one, let's lay on our stomach. My hands are going to come out to a T. My mic might get muffled, but my hands to a T, shoulders on the ground, scorpion stretch, opposite foot towards my opposite hand. See if the shoulders can anchor down as you reach. Maybe notice if they're lifting. See if they can anchor down. We'll get a couple in on each side. Letting the knee reach up. When you come back to center, let's do the same thing but on our back. So just flipping over. Hands to a T, shoulders on the ground, reaching up. Come across. Your leg can be straight or bent, preferably straight if you have space. See if the shoulders can stay down. Feel a gentle stretch outside the hips into the back. A couple more on each side. Trying not to hold the stretch for more than 5 or 10 seconds. Staying pretty dynamic. One more. Other side. And then we're going to flip over, come into our plank position. Hands under the shoulders. I'm going to bring the knees into the chest. Really slow mountain climbers. Every time my knee comes in, I don't want it to be low. I want to squeeze it up because we're warming up our core. So squeeze it up, squeeze it up, squeeze it up. We're just going to do about 2 more. Squeeze the thigh up towards the chest. Double check the hands are under the shoulders. The last one, each side. And returning to our high plank position, hands under shoulders for scap depressions. I'm going to drop down into my shoulder girdle, press the ground away. Drop down, press away. I can be on my knees, but notice how my elbow is straight as I come up and down. My hands are under my shoulders. I could even be in tabletop to modify, but otherwise, we'll be here for at least 20 reps. Rest is needed. Press into the shoulder girdle, coming back down. And relax. Take out the wrist. We'll do a couple wrist openers, going side to side. Loose through the fingertips. And then we'll go up and down. Really loose, kind of like you're whipping it, but of course don't hurt yourself. Really loose. And then big circles. One direction. Other direction. Feel the shoulders together like you're pinching them. Other direction again. Other direction, last one. Relax. Interlace the hands, big figure eights. So you're going to press, press, press. I'm very active. I want to press into those corners, making a figure eight in one direction with my hands, with my wrist gripping strong. Then switching, other direction, a little bit of coordination. Warming up our brain. We're going to do a little bit of coordination today as well. Relax. Last one, my middle fingers forward. I'm going to lift the heel of the hand up, come back down. They're right in front of my knees, lifting the heel of the hand, come back down. Double check this pinky knuckle is staying down as you lift. So pinky's on the ground as I lift. More intense if I want to bring my hands out. But double check the pinky knuckles down. Most important, you always want to support the joints. Last one. And relax. Let's stand it up. Couple more. I'll find myself in my Samson stretch, so interlace the fingers, flip the palms up, stepping back, side to side. Let's do high lunge for now. When I step back, my front heel's flat, reaching up side to side. I can release the arms as I alternate. Feel free to alternate the palm that's on top as well. And same thing, let's do a different variation. This time, let's sink the back knee, flare the palms up, side to side, a little deeper, a little bit more secure. Switching, sink the back knee, Back toes are tucked as you rock side to side. We'll do one more on each leg. Feel the thighs squeeze together and flex the belly as you reach, straightening out the arms. Last one. Coming back to center, let's find either your chair, your couch, or the wall. Double check you have space. We're going to do leg swings. Couple leg swings, going to wherever you can, warming up through the hip, the hamstrings. We're going to get quite a bit of hamstrings today and inner thighs. So that same leg, I can hold onto my wall or my chair still, and that same leg is going to go side to side. Lots of control, even though we're feeling soft through the hip. And then we'll switch other leg, going forward and back. Double checking you have space. Definitely don't want to hit anything. Couple more reps. And same leg, I can hold on to my chair or the wall, facing, going side to side. Finding that full range, bring all the way up into the back. Last one. And relax. Last thing we're going to do, keep our big toe on the ground and do ankle circles. For my ankle circles, whether my shoes are on or off, I want to see if my big toe can stay in the center, and then my ankle draws around it like a compass, like in math, like in grade school. And then switch directions. Try to keep the big toe in the center. Try not to avoid the front part of your circle. And let's switch other leg. Big toe's in the center. Let the ankle draw around the big toe. Moving into those corners, those edges. Switch directions, other direction. About two more. Big toes in the center. And relax. Last one. Let's come up onto the toes, and then we're going to rock back onto the heels. I can use my arms for balance. It's kind of hard when I go slow, but I can also go a little faster. If I want to warm up my balance, I can use my hips. Trying to find my full range as I warm up my balance. Coming up onto the toes, coming onto the heels. A couple more reps. Whatever feels good with the other parts of the body. I know I keep saying one more, but there's always something else to warm up. This is the last one. Big shoulder hugs. Alternate the arm that's on top. Alternate the arm that's on top. Loose through the arms. And relax. Okay, cool. For our workout today, feel free to grab water real quick. Our first workout is going to be a 12-minute EMOM. That means it's going to be 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, all at your own pace. We're going to have 4 different movements. We'll go through the list 3 times. I'm going to offer a ton of progressions. As we continue to move through the list, I'll give you harder and harder progressions. At any time, if you work out regularly and you're familiar with these movements, add any other things that make it harder for you. That's normal for you. We're going to need our box nearby. And if you have a weight and you want to make these things more challenging, have your weight nearby as well. Our first movement is going to be pistols on our box. Our box or our chair. With our box and our chair, we'll sit down, alternate the leg that stands. The higher your chair, the easier. The lower your chair, the harder. And I'll go over cues and stuff for that. You just want to make sure that your supporting heel's flat and your knee doesn't go too far past your toes, so not too far. It can line up with your toes, totally fine. But make sure your heel is flat the whole time. I'll give you more progressions as we go and how to make that more challenging. Your second movement is going to be a combination of movements. Push-up to star. So in my push-up, make sure I don't hit the box, my hands at the bottom line up with my chest, and then I'll explode out, come into my star. I can modify knees, and I can come out here. I can also keep my foot down, but it's pretty much an explosive push-up coming into some form of side plank. More challenging, of course, as you open up the limbs, make it even more explosive. Our next movement is going to be with our chair. My feet are going to be on my box. My toes are going to point up. Super important so we get the right movement. 90 degrees, that's what we're going to look for. Hands behind the head. I'm going to crunch, do a regular crunch, but as soon as my shoulders touch down, I'll bridge up as high as I can. Crunch, bridge up. So combination of movements. My last movement is going to be on my chair, on my box. It's going to be a dip with a knee drive. My hands can point forward, they can point out. Depending on how much space you have, shoulders back, legs are straight, toes pointing up. I'll dip, elbows go straight back, drive the knee up. Alternate the leg, modify, knees bent, coming up. Trying to keep my hips under the shoulders. And again, I'll go over all the different modifications and stuff as we go. For your dips, the higher your box, the more challenging. The lower your box, less challenging. So opposite of the pistols. So if you're ready, we're going to start in about 10 seconds or so, maybe a little more. I'll give you some time. I can grab water too. For your pistols, if you're used to this, you can do this without a box. You can go however low you like. But let's go ahead. We'll start with our pistols. We'll go in about 5 seconds. Find your box. Find your spot on the floor. We'll alternate the legs going in. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So on our pistols, sitting, coming up. Your own challenging pace. Remember, double check that that supporting foot is flat. And for today, as much as possible, let's have this top leg straight, top leg straight. It can be flexed or pointed, up to you. You can use the arms for counterbalance. And let's also squeeze the thighs together so we can strengthen the inner thighs. Doing great, you guys. We're almost there. Double check your supporting heels, heavy. And again, you could do this without a box. Home stretch, 5 seconds. Getting in a couple more reps, maybe starting to pick up the pace, and relax. Good job, you guys. 15-second rest. We have our push-up to star. Finding your spot on the floor. Hands are going to line up with the chest, with the sternum at the bottom. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So for my push-up, explode up, come up into my star. I'm kind of worried I'm going to hit my box. Here, coming back down. And I, again, can do this on my knees, here. I'll go a little slower. If you're comfortable, pick up the pace. Go ahead, go ahead. My hand positions just outside my shoulders, lining up with my sternum, elbows back. And I can go a little slower if I'm working on my coordination. Doing great, you guys, more than halfway. Feel the shoulders come together, strong all the way to the top fingers. Exhale as you press. Home stretch, 5 seconds. And relax, rest. 15-second rest. Let's lay on our back, feet on the box or your chair or your couch. Double check the heels are pressing down and the toes are pointing up. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and hands behind the head for a crunch. When the shoulders go down, hips go up. Your own pace. So crunch all the way up. And then hips up. For your bridge, double check the 90 degrees in the knees. Lifting the hips up as high as you can. Toes pointing to the sky so we can get that full range. Really want to strengthen through the right muscle groups along the back of the thighs. Doing great, you guys. Almost there, about 10 seconds left. Really press firmly into the heels. Squeeze the glutes at the very top. Notice if the knees are coming out. Try to keep them close. 2, 1, and rest, relax. we'll stand it up, dips on our box with our knee drive. You can, of course, stick to regular dips as well. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So legs are straight, shoulders back, bend the elbows, drive one knee up. If I want to modify, my knees can be bent. I'll drive up. Double check the elbows are pointing straight back. And as you get more comfortable, the knee comes up towards the chest, as much as you can towards the chest. Up towards the chest. Any variation, let the legs assist you. Double check the shoulders are also all the way back. Toes point to the sky if you're doing straight legs so you can get more hamstrings. Hips under the shoulders as you bend through the elbows. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Great job, you guys. Second round coming up. For our pistols, more challenging if we want to do hands across the shoulders, across the chest. More challenging still if you have your weight. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So regular pistols. Oh, my bad. Regular pistols. More challenging if hands across the chest. Double check that your supporting heel is flat and heavy. More challenging, of course, if you do this without the box. Exhale as you stand up. Flex the abs, drive in through the supporting foot. See if you can squeeze the thighs together. Flex that top leg, pointing or flexing. Trying to keep the thighs close. Looking good, you guys. Home stretch. 2, 1, and rest, relax. We have our push-up to start. You're getting pretty comfortable on this. See if you can make it really explosive. Strong pause in your star. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. I can also be on my knees if I want to work on the explosive part instead. So explosive, coming onto my side. Lots of control, coming down. Exhale, explosive. So I can always modify and focus either on the balance or the explosive part. Make sure your palms are flat and flared out. Almost there, halfway. Elbows pointing back. Exhale. I can also break it down to modify, making it 1, 2, 1, 2. But if you're comfortable, pick it up, pick it up. Belly is tight. Maybe stay on the toes. Doing great, you guys. 5 seconds left. Hips are high on the star. 2, 1, and rest. We have our crunch, the bridge on our box. Coming up next. Toes pointed to the sky. Double check you're at 90 degrees with the legs. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So bridging up. Hands behind the head on the crunch. On our bridge, double check both feet are pointed up. They're not splaying out. See if you can continue to squeeze the thighs close. On our crunches, neutral neck. Taking the chin off the chest. Almost there. Doing great, you guys. Maybe bring the hips up higher. Get that extra inch. Squeeze the hips up. Squeeze the hips up through the glutes. Home stretch. Another 10 seconds. You got it. Exhaling on the hardest parts. Maybe one more rep of each. Hips up even higher, even higher. 2, 1, and rest, relax. We have our dips. Double check the shoulders are down the back. They tend to round when we do our dips. Go in, 3, so double checking my shoulders, 2, 1, and go. Same thing here. I want my toes to point up. I don't want them to splay out. Bring the knee all the way in if you can. Modification is here. Elbows go straight back. They're going to want to flare out. Hug them in, hug them in. Looking good, you guys. And on this next one, let's have both feet on the ground, straight or bent. Let's go 90, halfway, halfway, pulse, 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 pulse. Full range, knee up. Full range, knee up. Almost there. Full range, one more, knee up. And relax, rest. Last round coming up. We're going to add in some tempos, add in some other challenges, but feel free to stick with those progressions that we did before. Pistols in 3, 2, 1, and go. If you're comfortable, let's pick up the pace, going a little faster. Make sure your heel's flat and heavy. And this is our last round. So let's go ahead and slow it down. Go super slow, super slow, super slow. Quick tap, stand it up. Super slow, super slow, super slow. Quick tap, stand it back up. Doing great, you guys. Super slow, super slow. Double check you're squeezing the thighs as you go slow. Tap, come back up. Last one on the super slow. Squeeze the thighs, and then very last 10 seconds. As many as you can, pump them out, pump them out. Super fast, you can use the arms or hands across the chest. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Great job. Push up to star. Last time. Full tempo, same thing. Any of the variations like we did before. We'll go in. 3, 2, 1, and go. Push up. Explode out to my star. And I can be in a low star. I can come up in a higher star. Exhale as you explode. Shoulders are together. If these are challenging, let's come all the way down still. Explode. Let's come down super slow on the push-up, super slow. Explode strong. Doing great, you guys. Home stretch, your own pace, 10 seconds, pumping them out. Coming into that side plank. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Last time with our crunch and bridge combo. Heels on the box, toes to the sky. Keeping the legs close, we'll go in. 3, 2, 1, and go hands behind the head. Crunching, bridging. So maybe notice if your bridge is pretty low, bring those hips up even higher. And as you bring them up, toes point up. Squeeze the thighs close. Doing great, you guys. Let's bridge real slow. Lots of control. Fast crunch. Bridge real slow. Super slow. Fast crunch. Almost there. Bridge slow, even slower. Flex the abs strong. And then your own challenging pace. Last 5 seconds. Toes point to the sky. Really dig the heels in. Dig them down. 2, 1, and rest. Last movement in our EMOM of our dips and knee drives. Feel free to do just regular dips. I want to make these more challenging on the arms. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Legs can be straight. They can be bent. You can stick to regular dips where elbows go straight back, or add the knee drive. Squeeze it in towards the belly. Double check your toes are pointed to the sky. Squeeze it in. Can modify. Knees bent. Doing great, you guys. Got it. Add the knee. Squeeze in. And last 10 seconds, double check the shoulders back. Let's go halfway. Halfway a little deeper. Halfway. Pulse it faster. 2, 1, and break. Relax. Great job, you guys. That's our first circuit. Feel free to grab water. We'll rest at least a minute for our next circuit while you're resting. We have like 8 movements. A lot of these are the body-weighted movements. A lot of these are going to be done on the box. We're going to go through this slow the first round. It's going to take too long if I demo everything right now. Let's just go slow the first round. We'll pick it up the second round, add some tempos, and then I'll show you more harder progressions. But I'll tell you what we're doing while we're resting. We still have 30, 40 more seconds. We're going to do burpees on our box. That's our first movement. You can always do regular burpees at home without the box if you want to make it more challenging. We're going to do an animal flow movement. We'll be in our beast hold, alternating the lifts. We're also going to do a sumo squat, adding a twist. We're going to do pikes on our box or our chair, alternating the leg as we drive it in and up. I'll show you that when we get there. We're also going to do another animal flow movement, save with air squats, combo movements, do some core stuff, and then also Bulgarian split lunges. I want to ask you guys if you have other questions, but I know there's probably a lot. So we're still going to rest maybe another 30 seconds or so. For this round, definitely make sure your chair or your box doesn't move when we bring our feet or our hands on it. And I'll show you progressions to do on the floor if your chair does move around or you're just not comfortable on the chair or box you're using. So our first movement is going to be burpees on our box. Everything is 30 seconds on, about 15 seconds to rest. We'll find our box or our chair. If you're using a chair, you can turn your chair sideways so the back of the chair is like on one side of your body. But otherwise, I'll be here. I can step or hop back, bring my chest down, hop or step in. Feel free to do burpees on the ground as well. But we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So hop or step, chest to the box, hop or step, and hop or step. And it can be a small bend, totally cool. I can reach my arms up. I could add my jump. We'll be here for 30 seconds. We're already halfway. See if you can bring the chest to the box. And if you're stepping, alternate the leg that steps back, alternate the leg that steps forward. Belly's tight, flex the abs. 3, 2, 1, and relax, rest. 15-second rest. Our next movement is going to be a beast hold with alternating lifts. First finger is forward, so my first finger is pointing forward, hands under my shoulders, my knees under the belly button, toes are tucked. We'll go in, 3, 2, 1, and let's just lift the knees for now. Holding, holding. You can stay here. Double check your knees are under the belly button, lifting off the floor. If you want to lift, opposite arm, opposite leg, come back down. When I lift, my elbow's straight. I'm not moving my ankle around, and I want to keep my hips as still as possible. You've got 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Next movement is going to be a sumo squat with our twist. So my wide step, kind of weird facing camera, wide step, toes can be out. I'm going to have hands behind my head. I'm going to sink. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go to sumo squat. And then opposite knee, opposite elbow. Come back down, opposite. And when I twist, I'm going to pause for now. I'm going to try and come as close as I can. See if my foot can plant in that same spot. 10 seconds left. Sitting low. Double check your feet are flat. 3, 2, 1, and relax. This next movement, this is our pike with our knee drive. We're going to alternate the legs that's on the box, on the chair. So I'll start in my plank position. Hands are under my shoulders. I'll come up into my pike. So I look like this L shape. Walk my hands a little further back. Still under my shoulders. Make sure your chair doesn't move. I'll bring my knee in. Then drive it straight up. Alternate here. Coming in. Drive it up. If you're uncomfortable, you can be in down dog, drive it up, reaching, planting. So reach up, knee to chest, up. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Another 10 seconds, either progression on the box or in down dog. Look for that straight line from your hands to your foot. 3, 1, and rest. So again, still going slow through this round, getting used to the movements. We'll find more challenging progressions on our second round. Our next movement is going to be deep ape with our air squat. So I'm going to do a regular squat, but at the bottom, back of my hands together, chin reach forward. I'll open, balance on my toes, come down, stand up with a tall chest. So we're going to do that. And go ahead, 30 seconds. Take your time this first round. Knees down, heels down, and up. A lot of coordination. My heels lift when I reach forward. Then my heels are heavy. So on my toes, knees go forward. And then my heels are really heavy. 5 seconds. If you have any knee injuries, ankle injuries, just do squats. Do squats. And relax. Rest. Our next one is going to be on our back. Alternating toe tap. I'll show you different progressions. I'll be here reaching, and then coming across, opposite hand, opposite foot. We'll go in, 3, 2, 1, and go. Come across, come across, yeah. Preferably your arms are back, like near your ears, and then come across. Here, come across. Great job, you guys. 10 seconds. More challenging, of course, if you try and get the shoulders up higher towards the toes. Coming up higher still. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Mountain climbers on our box or our chair. I'm going to show you different variations you can choose to do at home. You can always stick with regular mountain climbers on the ground. But different variations, I can be here. This is going to be our easiest variation. Harder is going to be on the ground. Harder still is going to be feet on the box, hands under the shoulders, bringing the knees towards the chest. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So here, or on the ground. So for 30 seconds, pick a variation that's challenging to you. Or again, if I'm on the box or the chair, lean forward so that the shoulders are over the wrist. Double check you're squeezing the thigh up towards the belly. Almost there. 5 seconds left. Pump in the knees. Maybe picking up the pace. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Great job, you guys. We've got 2 more movements before this circuit's over. Superman. I'm going to lay on my stomach. My hips are going to press into the ground. I want to try and take my ribs off the floor. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'll lift at the same time, come down at the same time. If this is challenging, modification is opposite arm, opposite leg, coming up and down together. So this is the modification. So make sure your hips are touching the ground and you're taking pressure off the ribs. Great, you guys. Already there, 5 seconds. Any variation, squeeze the glutes, lift the feet, 2, 1, and rest. Our last movement is going to be Bulgarian split lunges. This one can be done with a weight if you like. You'll need your chair or your box. Definitely need that one. I'll have my foot on the box. We're going to do one side. We'll go in 5 seconds doing our lunges. Make sure your toes are pressing down. We're going to tuck the hips. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'll sink to where I can, back up. Where I can, back up. If your chair is too tall, my chair is pretty tall. I'm going to get a different one. You can get a smaller one. Sink a little deeper on the smaller one. Halfway. See if the hips can stay squared. You're upright. Press into that front heel. Look for even pressure in the legs. 5 seconds. And relax. We'll rest. Now, we'll do the other side. In my Bulgarian split lunge, I want to see if my front heel can be flat. I won't use it. It's going to break. Make sure your front heel is flat. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. As much as possible, press into that back foot. Feel the back toe mounds digging down. And I'm making sure that my knee doesn't go past my front toes. Halfway. Yeah, this chair is going to break. Exhaling as I stand. Try to shift the weight back. The lower you can go with your back foot elevated, the more glutes we can get. 3, 2, 1, and rest, relax. All right, great job, you guys. That's our circuit. We're going to do it one more time, probably two more times. Feel free to grab water. So now that you're familiar with our movements, you can choose a harder progression. Feel free to add jumps, make them more challenging still. We will start with our burpees on the box. About 10 seconds or so, about 10 seconds. So find your box, your chair. You, again, can always do this on the floor with or without a jump. We'll go in, 3, 2, 1, and go. Lowering down. Hop or step. Hop or step. Doing great, you guys. Double check the shoulders are down the back. I'm going to try and get my sternum towards the box. Maybe my chest all the way down to the ground if I'm doing this on the floor. Belly's tight. Exhale as you press. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Relax. Our next movement is our beast hold, our animal flow movement. So my first fingers forward, hands under shoulders, knees under the belly button. We'll go in, 3, 2, 1, and go. So lift the knees. I can stay here, or I'll alternate lifting, coming back down. When I lift, my foot's flexed, my elbows are straight. Trying to keep my hips as squared as possible, and double check the knees are under the belly so we can get a little bit more core. Home stretch, even pressure through the limbs. 2, 1, and rest, relax. We have our sumo squat with our twist. Feel free to do your sumo squat without a twist and with a weight as well. If you want to make this more challenging. We'll go in 3, wide step, 2, 1, and go. So if I want to do this without my twist, I'll just be here, holding my weight at my chest, keeping my chest tall. I can also, here, hands behind my head, twist, sinking low, twist, already there. Exhaling, if you're comfortable, let's go a little faster. Home stretch, picking up the pace. 5 seconds, 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Next movement, pike on our box with the knee drive or on your chair. I'll demo on the floor and then on the box again. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So if I'm on the floor, I'm in down dog. My leg goes up and then towards my nose. Alternate. So leg up, then knee to nose, reaching, alternate. You can do this on your chair, on your couch. Just make sure that you're also pressing into the arms. The chair is a good cue to notice if you're just pressing too much into the legs. So find that even tension so we can strengthen all across the core. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Great job, you guys. Have our deep ape and our air squat. If these hurt your knees, then avoid the deep ape where we lower the knees down. But otherwise, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'll do regular squats. My knees are hurting. I'll do regular squats. Otherwise, I'll squat, lift my heel and lower my knees forward, and then heels down. Up. Make sure the chest is tall in your transition. Doing great, you guys. Halfway. When I'm ready to return my heel down, I want to stand all the way up with my heel heavy, like there are buttons underneath my heels. Working on a little bit of mobility in the ankles, knees, and hips. Home stretch. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest, relax. We have our alternating toe taps. So on our back, on the floor, coming out into like a star position with my arms and legs, arms reaching behind me, feet are wide. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So reach up. Make sure your shoulders come up alternate. Shoulders up. More challenging if I want to like crunch up even higher. Crunch up even higher. Doing great, you guys. Halfway already. Find your own challenging pace, your own challenging speed. Maybe twist even deeper. Reach past the foot, outside the ankle, outside the calf. Reach out, reach across. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Yes. We have mountain climbers on the floor, on the box, hands on box, or feet on box. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Hugging it in. Double check your shoulders are over the wrist. And as I'm pumping the knees, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Squeeze the thigh up towards the chest. More challenging, of course, if your feet are on your chair, on your box, or your couch. Home stretch, 10 seconds. Let's pick up the pace, maybe sprinting. Squeeze it in. Double check your palms are flat. Heel of the hands are flat. 2, 1, and rest. Superman's coming up. Laying on our stomach, pressing the hips down. Let's zip up the thighs, squeeze the heels together. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So lifting, together, down together. Make sure the neck is neutral. So I'm looking at the ground. I don't want to lift my chin as I lift the arms and legs. Modification is opposite arm, opposite leg. Pressing the opposite limbs into the ground. Trying to press the hip down. Doing great, you guys. 5 seconds already. Lifting, lifting. 2, 1, and rest. Last movement is our Bulgarian split lunge. Now, if you need to modify, just stick to regular reverse lunges or holding your lunge. Try on my box. My box is kind of tall. The other one's going to break. But we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. If you want to make it more challenging, you can grab your weight. Hold your weight at the chest. About sinking that back knee. Back, up. I prefer having full range. Found a different box. So trying to keep it up. Sticking to one side. Double checking. Your supporting heels flat. I want to shift the weight back. Load that back leg, even though I'm on my toes. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Take it out. Take it out. We'll do the other side. Oh, I think I have a box. I'm going to use my block. If you have a yoga block, that will work too, as long as it doesn't move. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Yes, perfect. Cool. So as long as your back foot's elevated a little bit more, and here you can see that my weight is shifted back. Yes, perfect. I like these. My knee isn't going further than my front toes, and my front heel is heavy and flat. Great, you guys. If you're comfortable, let's go faster. Seeing how low your back knee can go without it touching the ground. Home stretch. 2, 1, and relax. Rest. Great job, you guys. Okay, cool. I want to have time to stretch, so go ahead and cool it down. Let's grab some water. We'll stretch. How are you guys feeling? If you decide to do this video again, you're already familiar with the movements, then you can go faster, find that heavier weight, find a challenging depth. Go ahead and find a spot on your mat. We'll stretch. We did a lot of legs today. Let's bring our right foot forward. My back foot is untucked. Hands are on my hips. I'm going to loop the shoulders back, bring my hands to the low back. Scoop the elbows together, lift my, and if I'm comfortable, sink a little deeper, sinking into the hip. Find a depth that feels good, where you feel a stretch in that back thigh. Stay here, or left arm will inhale up. Exhale to reach across. Or right arm can bind if that feels good. Press firmly into the back foot. Stretch the fingers. And let's bring this top hand to the inside of the front leg. Spiraling the heart. You can stay here or reach for the back leg. Feel a stretch in the quad, the hip flexor. Allowing the hips to sink low. Taking big breaths into the body, the belly. On the inhale, let's unwind. Let's bring both hands to the inside. Feel a stretch in the hip. Let's also turn the foot up. But I'm lifting my foot, so I'm on the knife edge of my foot and letting the knee reach down for the ground. Of course, don't have to go as low as I am. I'm exaggerating, hoping you guys can see on the camera that I'm lowering my knee down. Inhale as you return your foot to center, and let's take our time to switch legs. Other leg in front. My back foot is untucked and flat. Hands start on my hips. Exhale to sink down. Find a depth that feels good, like a deep stretch into that back thigh. Hands are on the low back. We'll the shoulders and elbows together. Maybe lift the chin to the ceiling. Feel the shoulders looping close. Stay here, or the right arm reaches up. Exhale to the left. My left arm can bind. Trying to get the shoulders to come together, sinking into the hips. Exhale, the right hand to the ground inside the front foot. Left arm reaches the sky, or stays in the bind, or reach the back leg. Feel the shoulders come together, sink the hips down. See if the shoulders can come even closer to find a deeper stretch, allowing the hips to sink. We'll reach up for the ceiling, both hands to the inside of the front foot. You can stay here, or you can spill the left knee open, come out onto the knife edge of the left foot, letting the left knee reach down for the ground as the hips sink. Couple more big breaths, feeling a stretch into the hips. We'll return the foot flat, and we'll make our way into a seated position, straightening out the legs, toes pointing towards the chest, towards the sky. Inhale the arms up, exhale to fold. Go to where you can, whether that's near the knees or closer towards the feet, never forcing it. And with every exhale, just melting down, let the spine melt down, folding from the hips, from the seat. First, stretching the hamstring back, allowing the head to hang heavy, maybe to breathe deeper into the low back. Let's come back to, and I'll take my right leg, stack it on top of my left foot. My heel is going to go between my first two toes. So it's going between my big toe and that neck, kind of cradling my, flex both feet, inhale the arms up, and as I exhale, twist to the right, Back palm can plant if that feels good. Left hand can be outside my hip, maybe outside the shin, or outside the foot if you're flexible. But feel a stretch into the calves, the outside of the leg. Sit tall through the spine, and let the heart just shine open. Maybe bring the gaze behind you. With every breath, let the ribs expand and separate. Let the shoulders soften as you sink a little deeper. One more breath. Inhale to return to center. Exhale, releasing. We'll switch sides. Flex that bottom foot. Bring the left heel between the first two toes, flexing both of my feet. Reaching up on the inhale, twist towards the left leg. Back palm can be flat. My right hand can be outside the thigh or reach. When I'm here, I want to bring the shoulders back, sit tall through my spine. Find a deeper stretch by pinching all the back muscles closer together. Maybe bring the gaze behind me. As I exhale, relax. Looking for a stretch outside the hips, abs. Last breath. Exhale to return to center. Exhale to release. Let's hook our feet around. Come into Hero's Pose. Hero's Pose. Pose is challenging where the heels are touching. One or two more stretches. You can find a block or a pillow and wedge it between the ankles. Sit on for support. But otherwise, let's sit on our block, sit on the ankles, the heels, and we'll do some stretches in the arms. Up, reach for the sky. Right hand behind the head, left hand onto the elbow. Exhale, lean to the left. Notice if the ribs are reaching out, let's flex them down. And then continue to reach to the left, hugging the ribs down towards the belly, towards the spine. Find a deeper stretch. Staying connected to the core. Inhale up, release the arms, and we'll switch sides. Left hand behind the head, right hand onto the elbow. Exhale, lean to the right. Double check the ribs aren't reaching forward. Let's flex the belly. Stay connected to the core. Flatten the back as you reach through the elbow. Inhaling up. Exhale to head side to side. Last stretch, let's open out to a T. Let the back arch. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe let the knuckles reach down. Lift the chin. Feel the shoulders come together. Get a stretch across the front of the body. Letting the back arch naturally. Pressing into the feet. Chin to chest. Inhale, the arms reach for the sky. And exhale, hands down. Great job today, you guys. That is it. Thanks for tuning in.